picked up another mini bike because I was kind of going through mini bike withdrawals. So I picked up this MotoVox with a Predator 212, and it has a header pipe and a PZ 26 carb, and the bike has no brakes. I mean, who needs to stop anyway? It has a kill switch and a throttle hooked up. So it's all there except for the fact that it doesn't run right and it has no brakes. So I'm pretty sure it's the carb. It might be out of alignment with the intake manifold, and then possibly the jets are clogged. So I know a lot of these carbs, they get misaligned with the intake manifold and the carb. So that possibly could be a problem. And then I'm thinking the pilot jet's clogged, maybe, because it doesn't idle. You have to have the choke on or the throttle opened for the bike to keep running. Let me see if I can get this thing fired up. This thing will not idle. You have to hold the throttle open to keep the thing idling. So this thing will not run on its own. So I'm thinking it's the pilot jet's dirty, and then possibly the carb and the intake's not in alignment. So it's causing a tuning issue. So let me pull this carb off here real quick, and I'll check that pilot, and I'll make sure this is in alignment. A lot of the times, these things will look like they're in alignment on the outside, but on the inside, they're totally off. Pull the slide out of here. Look down through here and see if it's out of alignment. Yeah, this thing is totally out of alignment. So I don't know if you can see it up on top up there, but you can see the O-ring up on top, and then towards the bottom, you can see the intake's up too high. So it's not centered on that O-ring. Even though it looks good on the outside, so you really can't tell on the outside. So that's definitely an air leak right there. So no matter what I do with the jets, it's not gonna run right. So let me align that. So I got this thing centered. So let me see if I can tighten it down right here. So I got it all centered now. You can see it's even all the way around in there, around that O-ring. So now I'll pull this bowl off of here and we'll check out that pilot jet. I mean, we already got the carb off, so while we're here, we might as well check it out just to make sure, because if that pilot jet's dirty, it's not gonna run either way. And actually it looks pretty clean down in there. Actually, it looks really good. And this bike's been set in a while. So let me pull out that pilot and we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, that thing is totally clogged. You cannot see through it. It's just from that gas, from setting so long, that usually clogs up these pilot jets. So I'm gonna use some wire here, some carb spray, and clear this out. Let's see what size jet's in this thing while we're here. So it has a 35 pilot. That's totally clogged. While I'm here, since how the pilot jet's dirty, I might as well pull out this fuel screw and run some carb spray through this thing. Gotta be careful not to lose that little washer and that spring. Pull out this main too, and we'll run some carb spray through this. So it looks like the main's okay. I can actually see through all the passages on this one. Some spray through this thing. Throw some through this main jet, just to make sure. Oh yeah, that thing's totally clean. Make sure this fuel screw is clean. Throw this back down in here, and I think I'll turn it out to about 1.5 just to get started. Usually that's right around in the ballpark, about 1.5 on one of these. And then when I seat it, I don't seat it too hard. I don't want to strip this thing. There's a half, there's 1, and there's a half. Start right there. Clean out my pilot jet. I used a piece of wire, and then now, oh yeah, there we go. She's nice and clean now. All right, so that should do it. Everything looks nice and clean. The bowl looks clean. So we'll see what that does. I'll throw the slide back down in here, and I always make sure that there's a gasket under there too, under the slide cap, because if there's an air leak there, it's not going to run right. Things got to be nice and sealed up. Got the fuel line back on there. Make sure I got full throttle here. Yep. Let me see if this thing will fire up. All right. I think we got some fuel down in the bowl here. Let's see. Nice and smooth now. And it's not even warmed up. It idles nice and smooth now, and it's not even warmed up. So now I'll go ahead and adjust that fuel screw, and I think it's probably in the ballpark, but just to make sure, I usually turn it out until the bike's running or idling its fastest, and then I'll stop right at that point, and then I might turn it out just a little bit more to see if it picks up any more speed. If it doesn't, I'll turn it right back down to that point where it's idling its fastest, it's most efficient, and then I'll set the slide screw for the idle speed. Let me fire this thing back up. And then I'll turn this fuel screw out. See, it's really not picking up any speed right there. So let me turn it back down to 1.5, and I'll start turning the other way. Yeah, it's starting to drop idle speed when I turn it in. So I'll turn it back out until it reaches its fastest idle. So about a turn and a half out. So now that it's idling its highest, I adjust the slide screw. Sounds pretty good right there. So I adjusted the fuel screw out to where the carb or the engine was idling its highest, its most efficient, and then I came back and adjusted the slide screw. I turned down the idle where I wanted it. So now it seems like it's running pretty good. So the fuel screw is out about a turn and a half, so that's about right. So now I'll start it up and we'll see if we have good throttle response. And then if we don't, I can adjust that needle. So it actually sounds pretty good right there. It has good tip-in throttle response. So the needle on this carb is set right in the middle, so the clip is on the middle setting. But if it was running lean and it would hesitate on the tip-in throttle response, then I could pull the needle out and then move the clip down one slot to richen up the mixture. But on this setup, it seems like it runs pretty good. But if you do want to see a video where I actually did have to richen up the mixture with a needle, then check out the VM22 video. The bike would hesitate on tip-in throttle response, so I had to take and move the clip down one slot on the needle, and that took care of the problem. So now I think I'll test this bike out with no brakes and see what happens. Okay, bad idea. This bike actually runs pretty good. Well, this thing runs good, man. Let's just hope I don't have to stop. It's got good throttle response. Alright, man, this will wear out my shoes. Got some good throttle response with that 75 rear sprocket on here. So it's actually a pretty good running bike, except the brakes don't work at all because it doesn't have any. So now I got to figure out what to do with this bike next. I mean, the first thing would be put some brakes on it, but other than that,